Over 200 communities across the United States receive a special type of airline service known as Essential Air Service, or EAS. EAS is a government-subsidized program that guarantees airline service to small American communities that, without government support, would not be profitable. Today, I'm flying from an EAS airport for the first time with United Express from Decatur, Illinois, up to Chicago. This is a video that I've been wanting to make for a very long time, and I'm excited to finally make it happen. So with that said, I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. Good afternoon from Decatur Airport, which I can definitely say is the only airport I've ever been to that's owned and operated by a park district. A major goal of mine this year was to complete my list of flying from every central Illinois airport with passenger service, and I'm glad to say that Decatur was the last airport to cross off the list. As soon as you enter the terminal, you're greeted by the airline and rental car counters as well as the baggage claim. On the other side of the landside area is a proper sit-down restaurant and a large waiting/observation area. But here's one thing about Decatur that you probably didn't know. Back in 1984, then President Ronald Reagan flew in to visit ADM Food Company and Millikan University, and there's a whole showcase of artifacts from Reagan's visit right by the restaurant. I was a bit late reaching the airport, and because of that, there was a slight chance that I wouldn't be allowed through the security checkpoint. Thankfully, because there's only 1 or 2 flights a day, the TSA and gate agents are aware of how many people to expect. At this point, it was just myself and one other passenger who were left to clear the checkpoint. The airside portion is just 2 rooms with a single bathroom, some coffee machines, and a water cooler. There is just enough seating for 50 people, which is the maximum capacity of the CRJ-200s that fly here. Now, as I mentioned before, Decatur is an essential air service airport, and so all passenger flights here are government subsidized. The United Express flights are operated by SkyWest, and when this service began a few years ago, it was the first time Decatur ever received passenger jet service. In more recent history, Cape Air, and before them Air Choice One, flew turboprop aircraft to both Chicago O'Hare and St. Louis. This was the setup for many years, but even before them in the early 2000s, service was operated by American Connection to St. Louis. Unfortunately, service to St. Louis ended when Cape Air lost the contract to United, and there's no talk of that route coming back anytime soon. So today we're flying on a CRJ-200, and no surprise here, there's 50 seats in an all-economy class layout. My seat for this 40-minute flight would be 12A, and just like most CRJ-200s, the seat back is pretty standard with a giant tray table and seat pocket. I guess these snack menus are new to United because I've never seen these before, and it's also worth noting that the Hemispheres magazines are discontinued. The legroom is also pretty good if you're under 6 feet tall, and if there's no one next to you, there's a ton more room to stretch out and place your belongings. Now, as soon as I sat down, I immediately noticed that the seats on these SkyWest CRJ-200s are so much more comfortable than the ones you find on Air Wisconsin, who fly CRJ-200s for American Eagle. And that's because the SkyWest ones are noticeably thicker, so there's more padding. Now, unfortunately, despite all the praise, this CRJ-200 is not beating the allegations because the windows are still low as always and pretty scratched up at this particular seat. Now, these intra-Illinois flights are always pretty short, but it always impresses me that we do still get snack service despite only cruising for less than 10 minutes. On today's flight, it was a pack of snack mix with pretzels and crackers. And because the CRJ-200s only operate with one flight attendant, she came back later with water for all passengers, which I gladly accepted. And soon after, we began our descent into Chicago. Decatur-Chicago is the fourth intra-Illinois city pair that I've been fortunate enough to fly on, following Peoria, Bloomington, and Champaign. Our approach this afternoon brought us in from the west and essentially putting us on the approach path some 60 miles out over DeKalb, Illinois, flying straight in for runway 10 center. So, as you can imagine, there's not much to comment on from this flight, but I will say that Sky West is definitely Sky Best, as they say, because our flight attendant this afternoon was incredible. I will also mention that it was a pretty stressful morning earlier this day because as soon as I woke up and checked my flight status, I saw that we had already been delayed 2 hours because our original aircraft was delayed 2 hours, leaving Sioux City, Iowa for Chicago because of a broken door. And that stressed me out because I had a 1-hour connection in Chicago, so by the time we'd have left Decatur, I would have missed my next flight. Now, thankfully, the aircraft was changed to another CRJ-200 that was also delayed, but only for an hour, coming in from Joplin, Missouri to Chicago. Long story short, we landed in Chicago just under an hour late with just enough time for me to run to my next gate. I should also mention that we're arriving into Concourse F this afternoon, meaning that now I can officially say that I've taken a flight in or out of every single concourse at O'Hare International Airport. So here we are in Chicago, and now I'm rushing over to Terminal 1 for my next flight to Denver, a video that will be coming out soon. With that said, I'll end the video here, so thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time. Take care everyone, and goodbye.